Alright everybody, welcome. This is just a short diversion, a little side trip from the build. I wanted to go over sharpening with you. Now, there's a lot of things that need sharpening. Drill bits, auger bits, saws. But this will just be on plane irons and chisels. The saws I've been using have induction hardened teeth, which means they can't be resharpened, at least not with traditional files. There are triangle slipstones that would sharpen them, but I'm not getting into that. And I haven't really used drill bits or auger bits yet, so there's no reason to get into how to sharpen them until we're ready. So I have used my planes and chisels, so get into that. Now, my two favorite types of honing jigs, and you don't technically need one. You can sharpen it freehand. But if you ever looked at old chisels and old plane irons, like the antique ones, you're going to find that the bevels are crescents. And that's because it's very hard to keep a consistent bevel with your hand. Plus, people were then, like they are now, impatient, so they would tilt up just to get it sharpened faster, and eventually they would tilt so far up that it was almost like at a 90-degree angle. So then they would flip it over and start sharpening on the back. And that's honestly where back bevels came from. They weren't a trick developed by old masters because they knew something that we didn't. It was because they just really hit at sharpening and did that. But anyway, I use sharpening jigs, and, well, honing guides, whatever you want to call them. And my two favorites are the ones that clamp in and that have a guide, either integral like the Stanley or detachable like the Lee Valley. And the reason why I like these is because of the guide. If you can see here, there's numbers. And that lets you know exactly what angles there are. Like the first one is 35, this is 30, and this is 25. And that allows you to keep a very consistent bevel. Honing jigs that don't have that guide, you literally have to measure the blade out and then write down how far it sticks out to get the angle you want. I'm not into that. I like it as simple as possible. And these work pretty much the same. You flip the guide out, put it in, line it up to where you want, and then turn these two screws until it's locked into place. Now, if you ever lose the guide, on here it tells you how far to measure out. 25-degree angle is 25 millimeters. A 30 is 12.5 millimeters. And a 30 is 4 millimeters. So, and that's how that goes. For this one, it's a little bit more. You got a lot more angles. And you can adjust this. This is standard angle. This is high angle. And that's where back bevel. I don't care who tells you this. Don't put a back bevel on your blade. They're stupid. You never get it as sharp as just a single. At least I never have. They're a waste of time. And you always end up grinding them out anyhow. Don't do it. The high angle, use that if you have a high angle frog. I'm not getting into that because that's a whole other kettle of worms. So I just keep it all for standard angle. Now for most of your plane irons and chisels, you want a 30-degree angle. Because that is a good solid angle for most work. Because you have to realize, the more acute your angle is, the sharper it is going to be and the easier it'll slice, but the weaker your edge will be and it'll crumble faster. The more obtuse your angle is, the longer it'll last, but it'll have next to zero cutting power. I mean, no angle is stronger than a 90-degree angle, but it ain't cutting. So for most things, 30 degrees is a perfect angle. However, for my low angle block plane, I do prefer a 25-degree angle. It's low enough because I deal mostly with ingrained in it, so it's low enough that it slices the ingrain nice, but it still kind of holds up. So what we would do here, you would unscrew your depth stop, line it up with the 25, and then tighten it back up. Now on here, there's a rule, and you just measure how wide your iron is. For mine, it's 1 3/8. There's no 8 scale, it's all in quarters, so you gotta just kind of get it between the lines. So I'll try to get it. There's 1 1 1/4. I got it right in between 1 1/4 and 1 1/2, which means it's 1 3/8. Tighten that up. And then you just slide this in until you hit your stop. And then you just take and tighten these screws. Do a little bit at a time. That way I get even pressure. And I don't have one side that's clamped down more than the other. Alright. Then, sometimes this locks up. I can't unscrew it, so I just take pliers and do that. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bam. I used this one for years, and then I got this one. And while I still really like this one, and it's a lot cheaper than this, and would recommend this to anybody, I do like this better because it has this. It locks it in, not exactly at 90 degrees, but close, so you don't have to worry about fiddling with it to try and get a straight angle. But that's still good. I also like that it's high up, so I can put more pressure down. Now, this is a hard Arkansas stone. In my repertoire of sharpening stones, it's kind of in the middle. I have a synthetic oil stone that I use for major rehoning, like if I got a major ding but don't feel like busting out the grind, or if I do a fresh grind, I always sit it on the synthetic oil stone first. Then I'll go to my Washita, then I'll go to the hard Arkansas, and then finally to my black Arkansas. However, with this being a medium stone, this should be a good grit to work with. And even if you use diamond stones, synthetic oil stones, water stones, go with a medium grit, whatever medium grit would be. And it won't cut as fast as the coarse grits, and it won't get as sharp as the fine grits, but it'll be a serviceable one. In fact, I sharpened these earlier, and I tested them out, and they work decent. Did they work as fine as when I went through all of them? No, but they worked well enough. And since when we did our toolbox, I only put one in to save on money, then that's what I'm going with. Because like I said, this is just to get you guys working with the least amount of tools and money invested up front, to show you what you can do with minimum investment. Okay, now take your honing oil and put it on. I prefer Norton's honing oil, but Smith's honing solution is very widely available. I got this at Lowe's, so I'm using that. And then you just kind of, you want to put a lot of pressure down for natural Arkansas stones. For water stones, synthetic oil stones, and diamond stones, and sandpaper, you don't want to use a lot of pressure. But for Arkansas stones, you want to use a lot of pressure. So you push down and just roll back. And I go across the whole stone to get even wear. I got some chips here. Now, if you're using a natural stone, you don't have to do this. The stone is so dense that you're not going to warp this. You're not going to gouge it out or deform it. If you're using a diamond stone, a synthetic oil stone, or a water stone, whether it's a natural water stone or a synthetic water stone, you will wear a groove in it. So you want to just keep going across the stone and working the whole thing to avoid gouging it, getting a cup in it. Okay, and now after a few swipes, I look at it, I wipe the oil off, and I look, and I check the edge. If you can see any glint in the light, that means your edge is still obtuse, and you've got a little bit more to go. So now I flip it around to keep from wearing one edge more than the other. You can hear it cutting. I will say, this will wear you out. Yes, natural oil stones, hard Arkansas stones, they will wear you out sharpening. Okay. And then once you get that done, you just want to turn it around like this, and you rub the blade like this, and this gets off the back burr. Okay, and I feels flat, looks good. Okay, I think I'm going to take a few more swipes. It didn't quite feel as sharp as it should be. Of course, it won't get as sharp as going through all the stones, but still, always try to get it as sharp as possible. And now I'll just flip it around and work on the other side. That way, I don't wear one side more than the other. Which, once again, that's not going to be an issue on a hard Arkansas stone or any natural oil stone, but it will be on your synthetics and natural water stones. Okay, that feels pretty good. Now I'm going to cover this up because you want to keep your stones clean. And every so often, like maybe after so many sharpens, or after like every 3 months or so, 3 to 6 months, you want to wash them off. Okay, and I'll put this in. Now I'm to the middle slot on here because I've had this for over a decade, and I've used a lot of it. Okay, now let's just test this out. Okay. Okay, let me get this so I don't cut my hand like an idiot, which I've been known to be. Alright, I think I'm grabbing too much here. Let me just back this out a little bit. Okay. Kick the backlash out. Let me adjust this up just a little bit. Okay. It could be a lot sharper, but oops, it will cut. There we go. I'm trying to avoid that staple there. Alright, yeah. Okay. Not perfect, but it'll do. It'll do for what we're going for. And now, and as we go on, I'll be adding more tools later on. As I give you suggestions on how to expand your toolkit and show you what you can do with them and how you can do projects. In fact, this project that we're working now on, I plan to build another one at the end of the series, but using the full spectrum of tools that I have at my disposal to show you the difference in what you're capable of. But like I said, we're just doing realistic, we're doing cheap, we're doing, well, cheaper. No, this is cheap. Just to get you working, and I'm sweating, by the way, not because it's hot down here, but because I just got done working out. I got done working out, and it's like, yeah, I should do that sharpening video today, so I'm covered in sweat, but oh well, whatever. Anyway, that's it, guys. Next time we get together, I'll go over laying out for nail holes, smoothing, and putting at least the base together. And I got one here. This is what I'll show you on, and then we'll put the base together, and then the final video will be showing you how to put the top on, and you know, I'll go over a few other things on how to finish up, you know, like puttying, sanding. And I'm actually going to paint this. It's for my daughter, so I'm going to paint it pink. And I'm not just painting it pink because she's a girl and that's what girls get. It's because she likes the color pink, and I showed her that she picked out the color. So, but anyway, that's it, and I will see you later. Bye bye.